If I told you that a simple ingredient you already have in your kitchen might be used the wrong way, and because of that, you're not getting any of the benefits it could offer, would you believe me? And the most concerning part is that this silent mistake could be preventing your body from defending itself against inflammation, heart issues, and even more serious conditions that often begin quietly after the age of 50. Now answer me honestly, how many times have you consumed garlic thinking you were doing something good for your health without realizing you might have been wasting its true power? Stay with me until the end, because today I'm going to show you not only the real benefits of garlic, but also an ancient secret passed down from generation to generation that can completely change the way it works in your body. And there is a simple detail that almost no one knows that can be the difference between ordinary garlic and a true natural remedy. Over the years, within ancestral medicine, garlic has always been seen as much more than just a seasoning. It was considered a protective food, used by ancient peoples to strengthen the body, cleanse the system, and increase resistance against illness. But there is a very common mistake people make that cancels out much of this power, and I'm about to reveal what it is. First, you need to understand something important. Your body, especially after 50, starts to accumulate toxins, silent inflammation, and a natural decline in immunity. This doesn't happen overnight. It's something gradual that builds up until signs begin to appear like constant fatigue, body aches, unstable blood pressure, frequent infections. And this is exactly where garlic comes in, but not in the way you imagine. In ancestral wisdom, garlic was used as a purifier of the body, something that helped clean from the inside, strengthening important organs like the liver and helping the body eliminate what it doesn't need. And there is a compound inside garlic that is only released when it is prepared the right way. If you don't do this, it's like you're consuming only the flavor and not the benefit. In a moment, I'll explain exactly how to activate this power. But first, let me show you why so many ancient cultures trusted this food so much. The first effect many people start to notice is an improvement in energy levels. This happens because garlic helps the body get rid of substances that interfere with its natural functioning. Those toxins that make you feel slower, more tired, without energy. And it doesn't stop there. Another important point, especially for those who feel joint pain or suffer from inflammation, is that garlic has a natural action that helps calm this inflammatory process in the body. You know those pains that seem to have no explanation, that come and go? Often, they are linked to internal inflammation, and the body gives signs, but we ignore them. Now, pay attention to this. There is a simple habit that some people practice every day with garlic that can help a lot in these cases, but can also cause discomfort if done the wrong way. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you later. Another benefit that really stands out, especially at this stage of life, is the strengthening of the immune system. Have you noticed how some people get sick easily, while others seem to have stronger protection? Within ancestral medicine, garlic was used precisely for this, as a natural shield, helping the body respond better against viruses, bacteria, and even fungi. And there is a very interesting explanation for this, which involves how garlic wakes up the body's defense system, but I'll explain it to you in a very simple way shortly. Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever heard that garlic can help the heart? Because that's not just talk. Ancient peoples already used garlic to improve circulation, and today we know it can help keep blood flowing properly, preventing problems that often begin silently. But there's a detail here that almost no one tells you. Depending on how you consume garlic, you might not be getting this benefit. Or, even worse, you could be irritating your stomach unnecessarily. And that's exactly the kind of mistake I want to help you avoid today. Because it's not enough to consume something natural if you don't know how to use it the right way. And in a moment, I'm going to show you a simple step that activates the true power of garlic, something many people have never heard about, but that makes all the difference. But before that, I need to tell you a quick story. Now pay attention. For many years, I heard people say, "Doctor, I consume garlic, but I don't see any difference." And when I analyzed how they were using it, I almost always found the same mistake. And it's exactly this mistake that could be preventing you from feeling any benefit. Because garlic, the way most people consume it, is not active. There is a natural process inside it that only happens when you prepare it correctly. In ancestral medicine, this was known intuitively. People didn't have modern studies, but they observed the effects on the body. And they realized something very simple but extremely powerful. When garlic is crushed, chopped, or well minced, it wakes up. Yes, it sounds strange to say it like that, but that's exactly what happens. It activates a natural compound, which is responsible for most of the benefits you've heard about. But here's the detail almost no one respects. After cutting or crushing the garlic, you need to wait a few minutes before consuming it. This time may seem insignificant, but it makes all the difference. It's during this interval that the active compound forms. If you simply cut it and throw it straight into the pan, or consume it immediately, you could be losing a large part of its effect. Now tell me, were you doing this? Or have you always used garlic directly, without waiting? Well, that's one of the biggest mistakes. And there's another even more common one: cooking garlic for too long. Excessive heat, especially for long periods, destroys much of its natural properties. In other words, that golden, well-fried garlic that many people love may have almost none of the effect you're expecting. In ancient wisdom, garlic was often used raw, or added at the end of cooking, precisely to preserve its strength. Now, don't worry, this doesn't mean you need to start eating raw garlic in an extreme way, because there is a balanced way to use it without causing discomfort. And I'll show you some simple ways to include it in your daily routine without suffering. But before that, let me warn you about another important point. Many people believe that the more garlic you consume, the better. And that's not true. Excess can cause stomach irritation, a burning sensation, and even intestinal discomfort, especially for those who already have digestive sensitivity. Within ancestral medicine, there has always been a very clear rule: balance heals, excess disrupts. That's why a small amount, used correctly, can bring more results than large amounts used the wrong way. Now pay attention to this part. There is a very common habit, especially among people who want to improve their health quickly: consuming garlic on an empty stomach. But this may not be a good idea for everyone. Some people experience nausea, discomfort, and even stomach irritation. And when that happens, the body starts to reject it, and you end up abandoning something that could help you, if used the right way. That's why a safer approach is to consume garlic along with other foods, making digestion easier and reducing these effects. Now, I know you might be thinking, so what is the right way to use this daily? And that's exactly what I'm going to show you shortly. But before that, you need to understand the true potential of this food when it is used consciously. Because it's not just about immunity or inflammation. There is something even deeper. Modern studies, and also ancient records, show that garlic may help the body protect itself against the growth of abnormal cells. And this is something many people ignore until it's too late. But there is a detail here that can enhance this effect, and almost no one knows it. And I'll tell you about it soon. Now, let me take a quick pause. I am Dr. William, and I have studied and researched ancestral medicine for many years. And along my journey, I have gathered simple yet extremely powerful knowledge that has often been forgotten over time. And because of that, I organized these natural methods into a simple guide, easy to understand for anyone to apply in daily life. If you want to access it, I've left it in the first pinned comment. Now, getting back, there is another very interesting way to use garlic that comes from our grandparents, and it may seem too simple, but it has a surprising effect on the body. And the most curious part is that almost no one does it nowadays. But before I reveal this, let me ask you something important. Have you noticed how some people age with more vitality, while others lose energy, strength, and health over time? The difference often lies in simple daily habits, and garlic, when used correctly, can be one of those habits. In the next part, I will show you practical ways to use garlic in your daily routine without complication, and also some important precautions that can help you avoid problems. And most importantly, I will reveal that detail that can further enhance its effects in your body. Now I'm going to show you something that can completely change the way you use garlic in your daily life. Because it's not enough to know the benefits if you don't know how to apply them in a simple, practical, and safe way. And that's exactly what ancestral medicine has always taught. Not to complicate, but to use wisely. One of the oldest methods of consumption, passed down from our grandparents, is what we call activated garlic. And this is where that secret I mentioned at the beginning comes in. You take a clove of garlic, crush it well, or chop it into small pieces, and let it rest for about 5 to 10 minutes. This time is essential. It's during this moment that garlic develops its true potential, activating what really makes a difference in the body. After that, you can consume it with some food. It can be with a little olive oil, mixed into your meal, or even in a salad. This helps reduce the impact on the stomach and improves absorption. Now, there is a second method widely used in the past, garlic tea. You may have heard about it, or someone in your family may have used it, and it's not by chance. You boil the water, turn off the heat, and only then add the crushed garlic. Let it steep for a few minutes and drink it warm. This method was widely used especially during times of flu, weakness, or when the body needed support. And here's an important detail. If you boil the garlic together with the water, you lose much of its effect, so always add it afterward. Now pay attention to this. There is a third method, even simpler, that many people ignore. Adding garlic only at the end of cooking. If you enjoy cooking, this may be the easiest way to apply it daily. You prepare your meal as usual, and in the final minutes, add the garlic. This way you preserve much of its properties without needing to completely change your habits. Now, even though it's something natural, there are precautions you need to take, and very few people talk about this. If you use blood-thinning medications or have a tendency to bleed, excessive consumption may not be recommended. If you have very low blood pressure, you also need to be cautious. And if your stomach is sensitive, especially with reflux or gastritis, raw garlic may cause discomfort. So, observe your body. Ancestral medicine has always taught this. The body speaks, and those who learn to listen avoid problems. Another important point: quantity. An average of 1 to 2 cloves per day is enough to bring benefits. More than that does not mean better results. And now I need to warn you about a mistake many people make: buying garlic carelessly without paying attention to quality. Ideally, always choose firm, fresh garlic without signs of moisture or aging, because the strength of the food also lies in its quality. Now let me ask you something. Are you really using what you have in your kitchen as an ally for your health, or just as an automatic habit? Because the difference between the two can directly impact how your body ages. And I need to tell you something very clearly: there is no miracle. But there are habits that strengthen your body every single day, quietly. And garlic, when used consciously, can be one of them. If this content is helping you, like the video and subscribe to the channel so more people can receive this important information, because many people need to hear this and still don't know. Now, before we finish, there is one last point that may be the most important of all. Something that the ancients already knew, but that many people today have completely forgotten. And this could be what's missing for you to truly feel a difference in your body. In the next part, I will show you this in a very simple way, but it may open your eyes. Now I want you to pay very close attention, because this might be the most important part of everything I've told you so far. It doesn't matter if you use the best food, in the best way, if you don't understand the context of your body. In ancestral medicine, people never looked at just one element, but at the whole. Garlic was not seen as an isolated solution, but as part of a lifestyle. And this is where many people get lost. They want a quick result, something that solves everything on its own, but ignore the small habits that, together, make all the difference. Now, answer me honestly. What's the point of consuming garlic every day if your body is still overloaded with poor nutrition, excess sugar, constant stress, poor sleep? The body needs balance. And when that balance begins to happen, even in a simple way, results appear. Garlic can help cleanse, strengthen, protect. But it works best when your body's internal environment is also favorable. And there is an ancient concept, very simple but extremely powerful. Everything you do repeatedly builds or destroys your health. That's why small changes done every day are more powerful than big changes made once and then abandoned. Now, let me tell you something few people talk about. Many people reach their 50s believing it's too late to change. But that's not true. The body has an incredible ability to adapt, respond, and improve when you start taking care of it the right way. And that's why simple practices, like using garlic correctly, can have a bigger impact than you imagine. But there is one final detail that connects all of this: consistency. It's no use doing it today, stopping tomorrow, and then forgetting about it. Ancient peoples didn't use garlic as an emergency remedy. They used it as part of their routine, as something natural in daily life. And that's what brings results. Now let me leave you with a simple path. Start slowly. Observe your body. Adjust the way you consume it. Respect your limits. And most importantly, don't overcomplicate it. Health doesn't need to be difficult. It needs to be consistent. And if you made it this far, you're already ahead of many people who haven't even started yet. Now tell me in the comments, do you already use garlic in your daily routine? And after everything I've shown you, what do you plan to change starting today? Share your experience, because it might help others too. And if you want to keep learning about these natural methods, simple and truly meaningful, I recommend you watch the next video that is appearing on your screen now. It will complement everything you learned today and may show you other paths you haven't discovered yet. Take care of your body, respect your time, and value what is simple, because very often it's in simplicity that true power lies. See you in the next video.